Meredith Gorman here, and are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
We are back, guys. UFC Fight Night is back at the Apex for Barber versus Blanchfield. Important fight for the division. Maybe not for our watching purposes, but a winner, right there for a title shot, even though Blanchfield was there. Can Barber make that big step and win that big fight? We'll break that down here shortly. Time will tell. This is UFC Vegas 107, to be exact. Official event for this card. I'll break down the main card like always, provide free picks, leans, price talk, value plays, and more. SystemSportsCapping.com or link.me/systemcapping. Week off last week, nothing to recap. Thought I'd go over some news. And one thing that's been bothering me, I'll give a little rant. I haven't done a rant for a while. We used to do some rants on bad beats. Some rants also in the NFL podcast, but I got to talk about this one. All I see all over the place on Twitter, on YouTube, etc. Jon Jones versus Aspinall. That's all I hear, right? If you guys follow MMA, that's all you hear too, right? Is this fight going to happen? What's Jon Jones doing? Is he really want to fight? Is it going to happen? I believe it's not going to happen anytime soon. If it does happen, it's going to be what Jon Jones always does, right? He takes off a year, 2 years, sometimes even longer, and he comes back on his own time. He doesn't like to be told when to come back. He doesn't like to be told who to fight. Right? The GOAT, one of the best to ever do it, he calls the shots, right? That's how he likes to do it, and that's what he's doing here, right? Like, look what he's doing now. Where is he? He's in Thailand shooting some sort of a video or some sort of, what is it, a show with Nate Diaz or something? I think Russia's funding it. He's getting paid a ton, right? He's partying in Thailand. He's getting drunk. He's fighting around with Russians in swimming pools. The last thing on his mind is fighting Tom Aspinall. It's not happening. Tom Aspinall will be fighting somebody else. It's probably going to be Cyril Gane. I'm not excited about it. Definitely not excited about that fight, but that's probably his next fight, right? Realistically. A couple other heavyweights coming up, but they're not ready for that shot as of yet. It's probably going to be Gane. And, Tom probably will just run through him, right? Take him down, submit him, similar to what Jon Jones did. So, yeah, I'm not excited about it. But, hey, Tom, you got to move on. That's the only advice I can give. Don't be the Michael Chandler to Conor McGregor type of situation, right? Waiting for him. It's a little different. I get it, right? Jon Jones is a champion, and obviously Tom Aspinall wants to fight him and not hold an interim belt. I get that. But it's similar, the waiting around aspect of it. To fight the champ, to get the big money fight. That's the similarities between that. So when he's ready to come back, just continue to wipe out the heavyweight division. I know there's not a lot of ton of guys to fight, but Tom, you're in your prime now. Don't sit out. Don't let Jon Jones dictate your career. Got to rant about that. I had to go off on that. Hopefully Tom does make the right. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm totally wrong and that Jon Jones just says, oh yeah, I'm going to fight him. Give me 6 months. And Tom maybe just holds out. Okay. I'm cool with that. I hope that happens. I just don't see it happening. Look what he's doing now. Just watch his behavior. Does he look like he's going to fight anytime soon? No. So that's my thoughts on it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope, Jones says, yeah, I'm going to fight him. Give me 4, 5, 6 months. Hey, I'll wait for it because I think it would be a great fight. I know the matchup's not great for him. Jon Jones knows this. He mentioned it before. I think he knows this, and he's going to have to find some sort of fire that gets lit to come back and win and fight Tom Aspinall because he's done so much already. He doesn't really need to, guys. Let's be honest. That's my little rant for this week. One last thing I want to talk about next week, pay-per-view card. We're back on pay-per-view. O'Malley versus Dvalishvili 2. I'm actually excited for the fight. A lot of people, we don't want to see this fight. Sean O'Malley doesn't deserve it. But hey, we're going to see Sean O'Malley at his best self coming into this fight. I'm excited to break it down next week. Look out for that. 13-2 pay-per-view run, average line plus money there. Got a couple other decent fights too. Pena versus Harrison. I think Harrison probably wins that fight. We'll talk about that shortly next week. And then Pachi Mix making his debut. Card's decent overall, not that deep. We got some good fights on the card. But yeah, I'm interested to see how Mally bounced back. He changed his life. You don't see him on social media. He's not injured coming into the fight. He's been able to grapple, been able to wrestle. Let's see if it changes. Let's see if he's able to come back. Sometimes it's tough to get up for that rematch fight, especially when you win. But Merab seems to be prepared and ready. And every interview I watch from him, he knows he's like Sean O'Malley's going to be 70% better. So I think he's prepared for it. Quick update here, guys, on records. You guys, I'm always transparent with records. Client bet update 13-2 pay-per-view run on the line next week. Overall 25-10 all cards, average line plus money. Let's get right into it, guys. Shop around, have the best book, get the best number, have multiple books. You want to get the best number out there, shop around. I have about 5 different sports books I use and look at. There's about 2 or 3 I usually use, but if I can find a better line in another book, why not bet the best price? Why not get the best price out there? Get more return for your buck. Let's get into the main event here. Blanchfield minus 250 versus Barber plus 200. Damn, right when I see that Barber plus 200, it intrigues me. The value bell rings off, right? The bell rings off for value already, first fight. And there is value here. However, am I going to get to that value, right? Just because I said there's value on a price, guys, doesn't mean I'm betting it. I just think the line's off. So there's value on the price. I don't think it's way off, right? I have Blanchfield probably as a 2-1 favorite, maybe a 180 favorite. Barber seems to have found herself. This is her prime. She's been fighting at her best, but there's concerns with her. And we all know the concerns, right? Especially when you're fighting Erin Blanchfield. What does Erin Blanchfield like to do? Take down her opponents. Grapple, make it ugly, make it boring, you can say, right? If you watch some of Barber interviews this past week, her interviews, she's so boring to fight. So she's already going into that mentality, knowing what's going to happen and knowing that she's going to be taken down. Can Barber work her way back up? That's going to be the question here, right? Blanchfield has improved her striking. I don't think Barber's that much better of a striker than Blanchfield. I think it's somewhat similar. I know Barber likes to be scrappy against the cage, but Blanchfield also can counter that with her own scrappiness. She's very strong. I don't think, the match is the best for Barber. I think they're kind of similar fighters if you kind of look at it on paper. Blanchfield's probably the better grappler, though, wrestler, so she's going to have a slight advantage. I just think she's kind of a little bit better everywhere, even though Barber, very scrappy. That's how she could win this fight, just, be tougher than Blanchfield. That's where I believe her path is. My concerns for Barber, though, 53% takedown defense, not great. It's not great, guys. It's concerning for me when I know Blanchfield chain wrestles and tries to get down and go. Not a great accuracy takedown. It's 37%. It's not good, right? So she attempts. And when she gets you down, her grappling's good. Her top game's good. That's the question here, right? When Blanchfield gets the fight down on the ground, how is Barber going to be able to react? Is Barber going to be able to get up? That's the big question. Right? Another issue with Blanchfield, never fought 5 rounds. For Barber. Never fought 5 rounds. Blanchfield has back-to-back fights, right? So Barber, the reason why I don't believe it will be an issue, the 5 rounds, is I've seen her come on in fights, right? She usually starts slow, and you see some of her best rounds in the 3rd round. Or the Miranda Maverick fight, she won that fight. Very close fight, but she won that fight because of the 3rd round, because she finished the fight very strong. So I don't believe it's going to be an issue for her, even though she's never fought a 5-round fight, which I always have to put on my checklist when I'm looking at the fight before betting it. It is somewhat of a concern, even though I don't have that much of a concern due to Barber's fighting style and what I've seen from her in 3rd round. She wins a lot of the fights later into the fight. Starts slow, wins the later rounds. All right, so that's going to be the game plan here. Blanchfield's going to try to get the takedown, probably fail at times, but continue to get it continue to go after the takedowns, and she's going to get them throughout the fight. It's going to happen. If not, Barber keeps the fight standing, make it scrappy and ugly. She has a shot to win this fight. What I'm also liking from Barber as of late, her volume has increased a ton. Her significant strike, she's out striking her opponents in fights. She's throwing more. That's been improving. She wasn't doing that earlier in her career. She wasn't throwing enough. She has improved that, which I like to see from her. The volume is increasing, and she's having success doing that. This should be a very close fight, guys. Hard to see this fight ending. If it is, it's probably later in the fight. Right? So I do like the over and rounds in this fight. That's something I'm going to be looking at. That would be my favorite play so far. I haven't seen weigh-ins, right? Client card comes out after weigh-ins. I like to see the weigh-ins, like to see if there's any issues on the scale, like to see them two face-to-face after weigh-ins, all that fun stuff before I start betting on the fights. So I'll be watching weigh-ins on this fight for sure. Should be a close fight, guys. Definitely wouldn't be surprised if it goes all 5, maybe later stoppage, but definitely on the over and rounds. Value on Barber at this price, am I going to get there? It's going to be tough to get there because I mentioned those concerns. Also, one other check mark I have here on the box for a concern with Barber. She had some illnesses. I don't know a ton about it. I read one article about it saying she had some illness issues. So did that affect her training camp? Tough to say. I don't know. Only she knows and her coaches. So that's going to be another little, concern in the check box in the box for me. So yeah, some concerns here with Barber. That's why I don't love it. Plus 200 is not, not overly excited to bet it. Even though I do think there's slight value there on Barber. I just don't love Blanchfield. Right? I just don't love her style. I think that's what it is. Even though it can be effective when she has the right matchup, this could be a good matchup for her, depending on Barber's success with the takedowns. Interesting to see how this one goes. Co-main, Gamrot, minus 160 versus Klein, plus 137. Nice to see Klein get the big fight. Right? Impressive 23-4 MMA record for Klein. Started slow in the UFC. If you guys remember, he lost 2 of his first 3 fights. But now on a 7-fight unbeaten streak. Competition, not sexy. However, he has some nice wins. In there, Thiago Moises, nice veteran win. But the big win was over Bonamondos. And we're seeing how good that win really is. I think Bonamondos is one of the better up-and-comer fighters in the division. That was a big win for Klein. We know Gamrot, right? We all know Gamrot. We've seen him in big fights. Resume is a night and day difference to Klein. He's fought some of the best in this division. Even though when he does step up in competition, he usually does lose. He always puts up a good fight, close fight. Just come off a hooker loss. That's a tough loss for him. And we know what he wants to do. Chain wrestle, chain wrestle, chain wrestle. And that's what he's going to want to do against Klein here. Now, when you see Klein, when you look at the stats, you see 91% takedown defense. You're like, oh, this is impressive. Problem is, he just hasn't fought a wrestler. He has not fought anyone close to Gamrot. If you look at all his opponents, they're all strikers, guys. There's not one wrestler on that opponent sheet. So that's what concerns me here, because just the fighting style, he's never fought a guy that just wants to chain wrestle, chain wrestle, chain wrestle. So it's just going to be, I believe, a tough matchup for Klein. He could catch him. Klein very crafty with his strikes, hits hard, throws knees, throws kicks, wild punches. Very good striker. Even though both these guys are very low volume, Klein really finds his shots, big shots throughout fights, and hurts his opponents. Can he do it with that Gamrot? It's possible. But I do believe Gamrot will have success with the takedowns. And when I can get a better wrestler at a decent price here, I'd have to lean Gamrot at this price. Minus 160 is not terrible. If you want to improve it, maybe look for a decision, right? You can see Gamrot just wearing Klein out and getting a decision, a win. That's definitely very possible here in this fight. But hey, big opportunity for Klein. He wins this fight, guys. He's like in the top 5. Right, but do believe Gamrot is still in the top 5, top 10. So, Klein, if he gets this win, huge win for him. He's going to move right up and skyrocket right up those rankings. So, interesting to see how this fight pans out. Play for podcast purposes will be Gamrot. Goff, minus 334. Not Jared Goff. Billy Goff versus Brahmaj, plus 250. Last minute fight, guys, they put together. I didn't do too much a tape study or study on this one. It's just a fight they just put together. So I'll be staying away from this fight. Not sure why it's on the main card. It may move down, to be honest. They may move up a fight. There's a good girls fight, Chason, Vieira, that might move up. I'm not going to get involved too much in this, just to break down from what I know from these guys. Value at plus 250, sure. But Goff, he's going to have a good striking advantage here. Could hurt Brahmajal on the feet. Barber has shown decent chin and durability. We know he likes to grapple, try to get fights down to the ground. I do believe that's going to be his path here. But Goff has shown he can wrestle a little bit as well. He will have that striking advantage. Goff, though, on the feet, he should win this fight. But at minus 334, I'm not willing to find out. It's a wild price, especially for a last-minute matchup, right? Both these two haven't been training for each other. So when there's last-minute changes like this, I like to stay away. It's more unpredictable, right? So, for podcast purpose, I'll lean Goff, big price. He should win this fight. He's going to be the better striker. I'm tempted to go over the over in 1.5 rounds. Get that around minus 150. Not a terrible price. I don't think it's going to end quick. Like I said, both guys may come out slow. They don't really know what to expect. That's going to be the play on this fight. Over 1.5 rounds would be my favorite. Tempted to bet it personally. We'll see if I get there. Again, when it's these last-minute fights, I usually like to stay away from all market bets on those fights. Jacoby, minus 188 versus Lopez, plus 162. Jacoby's price like this, I believe he should be favorite. I don't think it's too unwarranted. He's that big win over Petrino. Last time out, Petrino was an up-and-coming fighter in this division, and Jacoby, put him out. A very impressive win from Jacoby. Shows that he still has it, right? A little towards the end of his career at 37, but he still has it. Looks like great kickboxer. You always know he can strike. Lopez, 14-1 fighter. Won his debut fight. Low-level guy. He came off the Dana White Contender Series as well. I'm not too thrilled about him. I don't think he's a terrible fighter, but I'm not in love with him. Plus 162, maybe a little tempting due to Jacoby's age, but Lopez is going to have to wrestle. He's going to have to get this fight down to the ground to have any success. You don't want to stand with a kickboxer. So will Lopez commit to make it ugly and get a takedown? Try to get takedowns here. That's going to be the question on this fight. Right? Dustin wins this fight if it's just a kickboxing fight. Will it stay a kickboxing fight? That's the question here, right? So, I'm not going to get too much. I'm not going to get any action probably on this from a client standpoint. I'll lean Dustin Jacoby here, but I'm not thrilled about this one, guys. This is not one that you want to get too involved in, right? You're going to see is Lopez, for real. Getting a win over Jacoby, it's a good win. So we're going to see if Lopez is, not just some bottom feeder beating up, lower level guys. I don't put Jacoby as a lower level guy in this division, right? Mid to low tier guy. So if, Lopez could get this win here, that will tell me that, maybe he's worth looking at when he gets similar matchups. So this will be more of a research based, put it in my spreadsheet type of fight to watch and kind of see what happens and see if Lopez, is the real deal or at least is a, factor in the mid tier of this division. This should be a fun one as long as it lasts, guys. Last one I'll talk about here. Reese minus 250 versus Tavorovich plus 200. This is an ugly one, guys. We're going to see a knockout at some point in this fight. You have to expect that. Hard to see this one going all 3 rounds. That's going to be the free play in this fight, all right? Fight not to go the distance. You take the under 2.5 rounds. Both guys very chinny. Both guys have been knocked out 6 times between the two guys, right? I would be surprised if this went 3 rounds. Very surprised. Tavorovich has been KO'd in back-to-back fights. Reese is coming off a knockout loss as well. Todorovic, when's the last time he went to a decision? Let's see here. 2021, last time. Reese, only one time out of 10 fights he went to a decision. These guys, the reason why is, right, listen to a couple of these stats. Both guys have, just their defense is terrible. That's what it comes down to. Both guys get hit hard, and their defense is terrible. That's kind of all you got to know, right? 42% and 46% is their defense. And their accuracy is fairly well, just under 60%. So that's why, right? That's why. And their chins are issues too. So again, very shocked this one went 3 rounds. Whoever you bet on, which I lean Reese, you take him by finish just to improve that price. I would never bet minus 250 on Reese. That's a crazy price. So Reese by finish, you can get plus money out there. That would be the play here. That will do it, guys. That will do it. Another Apex card. You know how I feel about these Apex cards. Love-hate relationship. But hey, as long as there's fights pretty much every week, I am happy. We got a UFC pay-per-view card next week, which I'm excited to break down. Look out for that next week. Like I always say, guys, bet smart and know your limits. Enjoy this card.